How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Gary Laib. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. I love his stuff. He's another one of those artists that I feel like there's not a piece of his work that I can't find that I can find that I don't love. I think everything that he does is just top notch and really fits into the wheelhouse of creativity that I personally am totally drawn to. I really like this piece as well. I liked it for a couple of reasons. I thought the line of action that you have throughout this character is just great. You have the hair dragging, you've got this great perspective that goes from, the tip of the arm back to the tip of the other one. How he cropped it is really interesting, or the composition that he chose. I probably would have gone for a full body shot, but I like the way that he chose to do kind of the less is more and to just focus on the important part right here. Something that I'm really trying to wrap my head around about camera angles and composition and everything lately, and I think he does a phenomenal job of that. I really like the drag that you have on this other character that just got walloped right in the chest. The drag goes all the way, throughout the cape. You have the drag of the sword that just slipped out of his hand. You've got the drag in the fingers. You've got the eyes looking over here. Just a wonderfully laid out place. You even have the drag in the jaw here and a little bit of angle there as well. Just a gorgeous piece. I think there's so much in here, and then the texturing, the way that he did the skin on this character is really interesting, and the shininess of the metal to just all the different kinds of fabrics and everything that he used is just a gorgeous piece. Let's look at a couple more pieces from his stuff. I really like this one too. I thought that was such a creative idea, having the tree kind of grow out of the back there. That's really cool. Really love that, and I love his hands. I really dig oversized hands and feet and stuff. It's just kind of a personal aesthetic thing that I like over exaggerated hands and feet a little bit. I thought this was a really cool armor choice, having that skull piece that looks like it's looks kind of a little bit fabricy, but then with the skull piece in the middle. Well, this one I thought was a really nice composition here as well. And the lighting works really well, along with the little scattered bits of, I don't know if they're fireflies or little bits of dust or flakes that are reflecting the light as well. It just works really, really gorgeously. And then this little mushroom over here adds an extra nice little highlight here as well. So just a phenomenal artist. I really hope that I get a chance to spend some more time looking through his stuff, because I think he's just a real talent and a real imaginative individual as well. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find from him, and he said, "I think that as long as an artist remains passionate about what they're working on, that passion will reflect in their artwork." I thought that was really great. You got to keep up your passion, and that's hard some days. It feels like a slog to continue to work and to grow and to stretch, or to finish up that client work or whatever it is that you have to do. But to remain passionate about it, and to go back to those roots of when you first started, or those reasons why you love what it is that you do, and to keep that fresh. One thing that I do is I'm always got a stack of books right over here that I'm always studying from other artists that I love, and it just helps kind of at the end of the day when I'm sort of just wanting to throw on something to listen to, or go hang out with someone or anything, and grab a book with me. And for me, it's a little bit easier than always bringing a sketchbook. Sometimes I feel like sketchbooks can be a little intimidating every once in a while, and I should probably get over that hurdle. But this is an easy way that I can keep my hands still moving and keep the drawing still working and do some studying. So I do draw overs on other people's illustrations that I really love, just to keep my eye working, to try to learn more from people who are to me further down on their journey. But it helps keep me passionate. It helps bring me back to those places of where I really started getting into illustration and animation, and helps keep those things fresh. So maybe that's something that you guys can try. Like I said, anytime if you have an art book that you really like and you don't feel like you're in the place where you can just sketch freely. Sometimes I get there. Just grab one of those and then just do draw overs. I mean, it keeps your hand fresh. It keeps you studying other people's work. It reminds you of the stuff that got you in to doing whatever it is that you're doing, and it follows that kind of monkey see, monkey do mentality that Don Bluth talks about a lot when you're first learning, or when you want to keep learning and growing. So let's go ahead and get into some animation. We're continuing on with our secret password shot. We're using the Malcolm V2 rig from Anim School, and we're using Autodesk Maya 2014. For more information on that stuff and all the stuff we've talked about so far, check out the links in the description below. I'm not quite sure what we're going to work on today, so let's do a play blast and let's just watch it all and see where we're at here. Turn our sound on and we'll do a quick play blast. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at it now. Okay. Okay. I think I want to play around with the feet still. I'm not really so happy with how those are looking yet. I think we need some more heel. They feel a little flat. I know we have some in there, but I don't think it's enough. It still feels too stiff to me. And then this hand, we don't really have anything going on with that hand or that arm. I think we should do a little bit of keep alive there. And then also, we don't really do anything with that hand pose there. I want to create a different hand pose and probably a couple breakdowns and then a hold in there. So I think we'll start with that hand, because I think that's going to be something that I know we can just get done for sure. And then we'll move into trying to exaggerate the feet a little bit more, and then we'll get into that arm. And I think that'll probably be the bulk of our time then for today. So let's dive right in. And again, the reason why I always go through and kind of create a plan of action for the shot is it helps give me fresh eyes on the shot. Do a play blast first before you go in there, or if it's a light shot, just watch it through your kind of viewfinder, and then you know where you're going to attack, and you know what things are sticking out to you today. What I used to do that I should get back into doing more, bad habits, because I'm trying to do this all on video so that we can grow and learn together, is I would do a play blast, load it on my phone, and then go for a walk or go outside and just get some fresh air, so I have different eyes, so it's under different lighting or whatever, and just watch it until I could find 7 things. That's all I made myself do, was find 7 things that I didn't like about it each and every day, and write those down, and then go and then attack those 7 things. And that would be, now again, it depends on how quickly you need to get your shot done, but for me that helps because it gave me, it could be 7 easy things, it could be 7 difficult things, but it was just 7, and it would be 7 new things each and every day, so that it was always growing and getting better on that shot. And it seemed like for me that worked well to keep my eyes fresh and keep, because after you've been doing this for, let's say you have a month to work on a shot, just a long time I guess, if you've been doing that each and every day, it gets harder and harder for you, especially if you're just starting out, to find things that aren't working, because after a while, and this is more towards a polishing phase kind of idea, but after a while, your eye kind of atrophies to the shot. You maybe have pushed the limit of where your skills are at, so it forces you to continue to think, okay, how can I make this better? How can I make this better? How can I make this better? And by writing it down and looking at it, it's a whole process that I feel is really helpful. So that being said, let's go ahead and we'll turn our audio track off, because I don't feel like doing too much audio stuff today. And let's look at this hand here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and set that. Just grabbing all of the fingers. Thumb. Go ahead and set it at like 109. Actually, let's hold that. this point, let's go ahead and open this up a little bit more. And oh, I think we're going the wrong way there, pal. Let's go there. There. And bring this out a little bit more. And that a little bit as well. And we'll go ahead and drag these fingers a little bit here too. Because they kind of drag from where they just were here. Here, and let's just create a different hand pose there. One that's a little more open, but still kind of relaxed here. Drag that thumb a little bit more here. And we'll drag those fingers a little bit more there too. And let's set a key on all of these. So you got that one. Maybe I'll delete that one. Here, we'll go ahead and grab all of these, and we'll drag them the other way. But here, we drag them that way. First of all, let's create a better ending pose so that it's not the same. It's kind of that pointing pose we had before. Break it down a little bit more from there. So finish our ending pose there. Bring that out a little bit more. That out. And this one a little more relaxed here too. Down here and over a bit more there too. Alright. And maybe a little bit more like that. Okay. It's a better ending pose. Maybe a little bit more there. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So let's key this one. Grab everything again. key all of that. So we'll delete that one and that one. We'll keep 114, we'll keep 118, we'll delete 125 for now, and 129. Okay. And let's look here. We'll just add a little bit of sway to these fingers. So we'll go that way here. So we get that little bit of drag in the fingers here. Swings that way. Drags back a little bit there. There again. There again. There again. There again. And back. Okay. I think that'll work somewhat, except I think this one in particular is maybe a little too exaggerated. I want to kind of taper off that movement a little bit more. Okay, and let's look at the thumb. Again, we want to go here, and then we'll drag it in and over. Set that, delete that one. Set it there. I'm trying to do a little bit different timing on the thumb versus the rest of the hand. Drag it in. And then bring it out a little bit here. In a little bit there. Out a little bit. In a little bit, out a little bit, in a little bit, and back to where we were. Okay, and then we'll take the pinky finger and we'll delay the frame here, and the index finger, and we'll push it forward a frame here. Okay. Should give us a little bit of variation through there. And let's just do a play blast, kind of looking at how that hand works from, let's say, we're looking at about 107, pretty much to the end. Alright, so let's take a look at that. Alright, I think the elbow might still be a little bit exaggerated, but we're just looking at kind of the hand now. I think the thumb's a little too much, and the fingers could be a little bit more. So let's tweak that up a little bit more here. So let's look at that thumb. So that one seemed a little too much, so I'll just pull it back a little bit more. It's in the right ballpark, but it needs to be a little bit less. So I'll just scale it back a little bit more here. Fingers. We'll go ahead and just exaggerate the pinky and the index, I think, a little bit more. And again, we just kind of want to taper that off as well. So we have kind of, if we connected all these dots, it would make sort of a straight line. It doesn't have to be exactly straight. And same here. Okay, and again, I think we wanted to exaggerate that a little bit more too, so let's crank it up. And doesn't have to be even or anything. We want some variety in here as well. Okay, and let's just do another play blast and see if that feels a little... Alright, I think that's working a little bit better now. It's not perfect, but at least it's a little more loose. And I think as well through here. Let's try and create better hand shape. There. We can go a little bit more here. Rotate that a little bit more in, and same with this one, just so I get a better breakdown in between there. And same here, just so it's a little more interesting in between there. Okay, and now let's look at the feet here. So let's go back to the beginning. Well, let's save our file too, just a separate version, just because I feel like that worked all right. Still could use some more polish. Okay, so kind of want to just look at the heel, which I think was on here, right? Or is it this one here? No, it's this one. This is what it was, right? Let's look at the heel. Maybe it's under toe raise. Controller was that? Forget where they put it on this rig here. I thought it was under here. Let's see. What do we have? Foot roll. I'm thinking it's under heel roll, but it's under foot roll. Okay. So let's look at that foot roll. And I'll try and just crank that up. Let's just see if that fixes it. But I'm guessing we're going to have to get in there and do a little bit more tweaking here. So we'll grab the foot roll on both feet here. And we'll push it up more. So we need to see more of a change of shape in those feet. I think that's one of the main things that I'm just not liking right now. Okay. Alright, we'll try that. Do a little bit higher on the hips as well. So just start off with a little bit. Again, I think there is fine. So let's go through here. Go just a little bit higher. So we get a little more of a straight leg. And we'll push the weight a little bit further down. Let's see if we like that a little better. So let's just look at the first 98 frames or so, and we'll do a quick play blast and see if we like those feet a little bit. Alright, it's a little bit better, but I think I might need to give another frame or two to the foot rolls there, because they kind of snap into position and don't really blend as well. See that knee kind of just pulls up and then stops. I'm not looking at the heel so much here, even though there's a little bit on the heel as well. So maybe just a frame or so more of that heel roll will help us. So let's see, or foot roll. So that would mean we need to go, let's just look at each one. Give us one more frame there. And then look at the other side. And one more frame on the other side. Alright. And let's do another play last and see if we like that a little bit better. It's okay, but I think maybe should also make the steps a little bit higher here too, so we get a little more of a raise on that passing position. So let's try that. And I think it's just the height of the steps here. Get a little bit higher. Then that'll keep that knee moving a little bit more there too. And maybe we could add a little more toe drag as well. So which one did we do the toe on? Do we do it on the actual toe? Or do it here. Here. Okay, that's right. I did these without the shoes on. Kept trying. I'm like, I know I have that controller here somewhere, so let's turn those. Turn our clothes back off on here. I was wondering why I couldn't find that. I'm like, I know we have some toe stuff working. Why can't we see it? Because it's hidden by the shoe. Always hidden by the shoe. Okay, and we'll move that over and move that stuff off here. Knew we had some toe controllers here. So is this it? Which was the one we were using now? There we go. Okay. Now we're back in business. So we'll go ahead and rotate that down so you really get some change of shape here. Accentuate these a little bit more too. Okay, and let's look at the other side. There. Here, so we can really drag that toe a little bit more, get that change of shape in the feet, which will help us, and bring that down. And I think we're going to have to go with the ankle as well, and get a little more drag in there as well. So just a little bit more. Just kind of exaggerate what we already have a little bit more. let's go ahead and do another play blast and see if that feels a little better. Alright, it's getting there, but I feel like we still have a little too much too soon. So let's maybe delay the heel roll for another frame and then extend it further for another frame. So what I'm really going to do is get the heel roll on both feet and just push them all like one frame forward, really. Let's try that instead. Alright, it's getting there. It's getting there. I think pops up a little too soon, so let's look at the heel roll again. And we'll just stick with 1 foot at a time here. So go ahead and key where it is there. Put out of that. Start about 2 frames sooner. Sooner than that. So it kind of eases up. It doesn't really pop into there. So I'll set that one. Give me 2 more frames. Set that. About a frame there. And again, set that. And go about 2 frames sooner. Delete that one, bring that back. So it kind of has that more of an ease in there and less of a pop. And let's look at the other side and see if that helps us a little bit here. So we'll set that one, move that 2 frames back. Delete that. So it just gives us an extra 2 frame buffer to get that heel started, so it hopefully doesn't pop as much. So I'll set that one, 2 frames, delete there, bring that back, set that one. So it peels off the ground a little bit better. Still feels a little too knee heavy, I think, this walk, but we'll get there. And actually, I think there's another step or 2 that we want to get in on this here. So I'll set that one, 2 frames back there, and bring that over. Okay, and let's do another play blast on those feet and see how we're doing. Alright, I think that works for now. Still probably want to do some more polish on it, but I think it's working a little bit better. So I think the next note, we still have some time together, right? Yeah. Is right here where it moves up and then where it moves down feels very stiff in that arm. So I want to try and loosen that up a little bit more. So let's see if we can attack that a little bit more. Alright, so we're looking pretty much right here. So we'll set it there. We'll actually go down a little bit here. So we dip down. Then we'll get here, but we'll overshoot it a little bit here. And let's try and clean that up a little bit better here. So it goes like right here. It should be dragging down a little bit. And right there it should end back up. Maybe even right there. And we'll overshoot about here, and then we'll do some in the wrist as well. So again, we'll set that. Go ahead and drag it down here a little bit more. And set it there. And we want to go a little bit forward. Try and do something like that where there's a little bit of drag and follow through there. I'm trying to still think of the silhouette as well. So I've got going through there, a little bit of warble, adjust it. This should maybe be a little bit up here, in. And this would drag down a little bit here. Try to polish this up a little bit better here though. Let's look at the wrist. Okay, sorry about that. Get allergies or something this morning. I'll bring that up and over. We'll look at it. Try and drag it a little bit from there. Still drag it a little bit more here. Back there. Go a little bit forward here. Maybe a little bit out, just so that it's not intersecting so much. So that one's fine there. Go ahead and get rid of that. Favor it open a little bit more just so our silhouette reads a little bit better. Maybe even a little bit let's watch that and just see if that feels a little more loose here. So we're pretty much going from about 45 on. We don't really need to look at the first few frames. Let's do another play blast and just see how that might be a little too busy. I think it works, but let's see. Just tone it down maybe about 10%. Overshoot might be a little too much. Try to get in there a little bit sooner. Still want to keep that a little bit though. This one that's a little too over the top. So we'll set that okay. I'll set this about 2 frames less from the extreme there. This one maybe a frame less, so it's not as extreme there too. Just trying to tone this down just a little bit, because I think the movement works and it's okay, but as far as the scene goes, it feels a little too busy for that action, and I don't want that action to cause, and there's a, you know, a large tablet there, so it has a big amount of movement for just little movements that catches the eye a lot. I don't really want that to be the focus. I'd rather have the other hand be the focus, so I want to keep this hand and this arm a little bit more lifeless, even though we want it to have energy and stuff behind it. We don't want it to be the focus of our shot. So let's do a play blast and just see where. Alright, I feel like the big moves don't bother me so much, but the kind of little bit of tilt after it's up, it catches my eye a little too much. So maybe let's try and favor a little bit more towards something like that. Just so there's a little less tilt to it. And this could still be up like that. So it kind of holds in that position a little bit better. And then hold that really through Alright, let's do a play blast there and see how. Alright, it's not perfect, but it's better. It's at least feels like there's some life in that hand and the forearm there a little bit. We could probably even do a little bit more back there and push that just a teeny bit more. Now, let's look. How much time do we still have? We still have a little bit more time. Let's look at this hand pose here. I want this finger to not really be that way anymore. So let's bring that down, bring that up. Just feel like it's not as natural from this camera angle as it is from when it's working the other way here. So I'll just try to find a little bit better way to portray that same hold there. And maybe we'll do a little bit more here. Just try to make it more interesting of a hold there. And we'll go ahead and push that back a little bit here and give a little bit of rotate Y to it. Maybe group it even more. I like that a little bit better. Okay, so let's key all of these here. Let's set all of that. And then go back to 158. Yeah, we'll use that on. It was 110, right? So we'll go 111. Is there any 158? Delete those, and we'll add a little bit of keep alive in between there. Okay, so like here, we could drag that, and that, and this one just a little bit. And I think we'll go down a little bit before we go up like that. So I'll go down just a teeny bit. And then we'll have it drag up. And up a little bit further. And back a little bit. And then forward. Back a little bit here. feel like that's a little bit better. And let's look at the index itself. And let's exaggerate that one a little bit more. And push it forward a frame here. And let's look at the pinky, and we'll delay it a frame from what we have everything. We'll exaggerate it a little bit more as well. And again, we don't want to do a ton of movement in this hand because we still want to make it feel like it's holding that, but a little bit of sway in there I think will help just keep it alive a little bit more. Okay, and let's do a play blast of all of that. And that's really just from, what about 105 to the end? Let's see how that's coming together. Alright, it's okay, but I think it's a little too over-exaggerated towards the end, so we'll pull that back a little bit more. So I'll take what we have on this finger, and we'll just scale it in a little bit more. Because I feel like it feels nice and loose, but it's just too over-exaggerated and too busy. So we'll just bring it back a little bit. And then I think we might need to actually exaggerate, or at least change the positions of the middle fingers a little bit more here too. Just a little bit, just so it kind of favors and gets a little more movement in there. And let's look at this one too. So we get that little bit of gap, and the grouping of our fingers is a little bit better. That's fine. And we'll keep the rest. Okay, let's do one more play blast on that. Let's get that hair turned off there for us. We don't need to be seeing that just yet. So we'll go back to 158 and get that set on at 0. Okay, it's just a little distracting. Alright, we'll do one more play blast and then we'll probably have to wrap up. Alright, it's pretty close, but I still feel like it's probably about 10% too much there. So let's try and pull it back just a little bit more. It's really, really getting pretty close though. So again, we're just gonna pull our extremes in just a little bit. Just a little bit more. It's pretty close though. And it just makes this area feel like there's a little more life in it. Nothing that we really want to make the eye draw to, but just so that there's some feeling that it doesn't lock off and feels completely dead. So I think that should work. Let's do one more. Alright, yeah. Again, we could probably tone it down a little bit more, but I'm okay with it being a little floppy. Sometimes I like a little bit of that in there. But yeah, just added that extra bit of life there. We added the extra movement on the other hand. We redid some of the stuff on the feet, so those feel a little bit better. Let's play blast the whole thing and we'll wrap up for today. Alright, I think those, what we attacked today definitely helped our shot come together a little bit more, added that extra little bit in there. We still have a long way to go with this one. Probably tomorrow we'll do another pass at the mouth and try and get some more the lip shapes in there so that our P's can pop a little bit better. So we'll do probably, that's what I'm thinking we'll do tomorrow. Still got a couple more ideas for other stuff that I want to go into before we do too much polish, but I think that's, if everything comes together, that's probably what we'll attack for tomorrow. But let's look at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Gary Laib, and he said, I think that as long as an artist remains passionate about what they're working on, that passion will reflect in their artwork. So remain passionate today. Remember those things that got you into loving what it is that you do. Try and incorporate that passion into your work as much as you can. Don't give up on your dreams. Take another step in your journey towards mastering whatever medium it is that you're passionate about. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. You guys are amazing and wonderful. I hope that you carved out some time to work on your own dreams, and thanks for sharing some time with me. And I think we'll wrap up for today. So that being said, we will see you for some more animation, some more imagination, some more creativity tomorrow.